Hello everyone, welcome to this new session which we are going to work on Amazon Web Service cloud computing. Today we are going to understand and set up the cloud computer environment using Amazon Web Services. This cloud computing environment we are going to use in our coming sessions where we understand the DevOps culture and going to learn different tools which we used in our day-to-day real-time projects. So let's move ahead and set up the Amazon Web Service cloud environment. So first of all, we have to visit AWS site. Type AWS over here. For that, for AWS you have to register first yourself. AWS also provide a free tier resources which you can use it, and if you're going to use above free tier resources, Amazon going to charge you with the additional cost of the resources which you have used. So I would prefer you to uh, shut down your resources, terminate your resources whenever you don't require. So it will save your money and reduce the cost. So let's create. So first go to service, type over here VPC. VPC is basically a private cloud, virtual private cloud, which provide you a separate private network where you can install your instance. Basically, instance is your servers and do your work. So let's create a one VPC. Click over here. Now you can see this is one of the default VPC is already created. So click on create VPC. Just launch VPC wizard. Sorry, launch VPC wizard. Over here you can see VPC with a single public subnet, VPC with a public and private subnet. So we'll select the VPC with a single public subnet. Click on select. Give the name. Change the subnet. Subnet. Remaining would be default. Click on create VPC. So it will create your private cloud network like this one is created. You can see over here. Now this one is created. DevOps CPC. So let's move ahead. Now we are going to create the security groups. The security groups required to control inbound and outbound traffic and providing securities to the users to access our instance. Let's go to over here. In left tab you can see the security. In security there is a one group, security groups. You have to click on this. Now click on the create security groups. Provide the name whichever you want to give. I'll give the name DevOps -SG. Description security group infra. Now you can select the VPC which you have created recently. I have selected this one which I have created mine. Now these are the inbound rules and the outbound rules. So let's create the rules within a security group. So first I'll select the HTTP because using this I'm going to access a server. You can see the protocol type is the TCP, the port range which is 80 which is by default. Over here you can write your IP address. So for finding the IP address, go to your favorite search engine, type what's my IP. It will provide your IP. Copy, come over here, paste it, and type /32. So select this one. Now I'm writing home IP address. So another, I'm going to select it SSH to for access. So Let me select it. You can see the port is 22, which is by default port for SSH. Where I am copying it again. I have created it. Another one I am going to create it, custom TCP, giving the port number 8080 because uh, we're going to use this environment for installing Jenkins, and Jenkins going to run on 8080 port. So that's why we are going to create custom TCP over here. Again, I'm going to give paste. So this is the way I have created my inbound rules. In outbound rules, you don't need to do anything. Select all traffic custom over here and click on create security groups. So now your security groups are created over here. Let's move on again. Now we have created our VPC. We have created the security group for that network. Now we are going to create an instance, basically your server or your machine which you are going to use to deploy your tools, working, your activities on that particular machine. So let's create, type over here EC2. EC2 is the elastic cloud compute. So let me click on over here. So now click on launch instance. Okay, so over here you have AMIs. AMIs is basically Amazon Machine Image, which provide a pre-configured, pre-set up OS which you can use to create your instance. So over here there are different MyMIs which if you have already created, AWS Marketplace which you can use, community if you want to use the community AMIs. So there are some different things, but we are going to use free tier only because these are the free, so we are going to use. So where you can see there are different volume OS availables like Amazon Linux. If you want to, if you are going to use MX Linux AMI to 18, so Red Hat if you want to use SUSE Linux Enterprise, if you want to use Ubuntu server. So these are the different servers you can use. Like there are the Windows server also available over here. So what we are going to use, we are going to use Amazon Linux, which is free tier. Click over here. Now these are the instance type, which instance type are going to use. So for this session or a demo purpose we are going to use t.micro because it's a free. You can see over here it's a free. So let's click on next configuration. Now over here we are going to configure our instance. So first we have to select our network, which is DevOps VPC. Over here I'm going to select my subnet. Now in auto assign public IP you have to enable it. Rest will make it as a default. Click on add storage. Now if you can see these are the size which is provided by, you can click over it. You can see volume size must be greater than 0 or the size of the snapshot used. So by default AWS provide 8 GB storage, but if you want you can increase it. But like I said earlier, AWS is going to charge you additional cost if you are going to increase your resources, which is beyond the free tier resources provided by AWS. So let's take it 8 GB at this moment. We'll click on the next tags. So now the tags is very useful because by using these tags you can control certain things like let me create one tag, the cost, which provide me the details how much resources I have used, and the billing information. I will in the last end of this session will show I'll show you how to use a billing dashboard to control your cost and how you can check your cost whichever the resources you are using it. So let's move ahead and click on the configuration security group. So in this I'm going to select an existing security group. You can see these the security groups are showing over here which I have. So now I'll click on the DevOps SG group which I have already created. Now review and launch. So whatever you have choose, the entire information is over here. So let's create it and launch it. So now this is your key pair. PM basically it's a security key which we are going to use to access our AWS environment. So remember one thing, this has to, you cannot share this key to anyone, because if you share this key, he or she would be able to access your AWS environment. So store it in a secure place. So let me create a new one. I give the name of DevOps key and download key this and launch instance. So now I'm going to click over here. It will redirect me on the instance where I can see the instance which I have created. So wait for a couple of minutes. It's initializing and creating the machine based on the configuration we have selected. So now after creating this machine, we are going to provide a IP address. So for that, we're going to use Elastic IP. So now you can see instance is running. So now let's move ahead and we're going to create the Elastic IP. So let's click on the Elastic IP under network and securities. So now over here, click on allocate IP address. Click on allocate. So you can see the public IP address is available here, but this has to be assigned to the instance which we have created. So let me click on associate Elastic IP address. I'm going to choose the instance which is running over here. Click on associate. Now this is associated over here. Let's go to click on service, go to EC2, running instance. Now you can see this is my instance which is running right now. Okay, so you can see this is my IP address over here and the public DNS IP. So now what we have to do, we have to click on connect. See, these are the commands which we are going to use and connect to the instance which we have just recently created. So this is basically command to, make the changes, right changes of your key. This will make your key as a read only, which can be accessed by the owner only. So let's move ahead and we'll see further. But remember one thing, that AWS charge Elastic IP when you have assigned your IP address to your instance and your instance is not running, so it will charge you the cost for that. But if you are not using instance and you release your Elastic IP address which you have assigned, then there would be no additional cost. So I would recommend, whenever you are not using your environment, you should release the IP address which we have going to associate with our instance, so it will not give you any additional cost. So go to your terminal. This is my terminal. Go to the location where you have stored that PAM key. So my is over here. Type ls-lah, your key name. Click on it. You can see it's a read write and anybody can read and write. So I have to change first permission. Okay. Now again, now you can see this is only a read only mode, right? So let's connect my environment over here. So I copy this one, go over here, paste it, and type yes. Voila, I created my instance and now I'm inside my AWS environment. Close this. So this is the way we are going to create an instance and going to access. So in coming sessions we are going to use this environment, this instance, for deploying our DevOps tool like Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Puppet, and we'll see how these tools can be used uh, to effectively implementation DevOps culture within our project, and see various functionality provided by these tools. I hope you like this video. If you like, click on click on the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can aware the new videos which we are going to upload over here. Thank you very much.